Okay, so we are going to follow on from where we were yesterday. There's the camera. And do a bit more work on that spreadsheet with the offer on that we started, or I started yesterday afternoon. So the first thing I will show you is how to copy all information from one sheet to another, which is quite useful if somebody shares a spreadsheet with you that you're not allowed to edit, but you want to do some work on, for example. You can copy and paste all the information from one sheet into another. So there's two ways of doing it that have different results. So if you select all the information on this spreadsheet and then right click and click copy, the other way of doing that, which you may or may not know, is to press Control and C at the same time and then go File, New, it brings up a new sheet, and then Edit, right click and then Paste, or Control plus V. So Control C to copy, Control V to paste. A lot quicker. What that does is it copies all the information, but it doesn't copy the. I'll make it the same size as the other one, so it makes more sense. We're on 140. And this one is 140. There you go. Now, what it doesn't do is it doesn't copy the column width that you've set out on various kind of formatting things that you've done on the other sheet. So the thing to do is delete all that you've just copied across, go back to the original sheet, select the entire sheet, and you do that by clicking on this little triangle in the top left hand corner. That selects everything on the sheet, Control C to copy, into the new sheet, Control V, and that copies across all your column widths and all the other kind of gubbins that makes it exactly the same as the original sheet. So we'll save this one as lesson 3, even though I didn't save yesterday as lesson 2. And then what we will do is we'll just get rid of that for the purposes of today. Let's assume Mr. Bloggs' offer was refused because he's a cheapskate and it's not enough money. So what we can do is add in 2 columns here. So select 2 columns along the top, right click, insert columns, and I'll bring you 2 columns in between those other ones. Make this one a bit wider so you can write in it effectively, and then say vendor will take. Some of it's in capitals and some of it isn't. Vendor will take, and then make that column the right width. Another little hint is to make a column the width of the text that's in it. Go to the right hand side of the column where it turns into 2 arrows in a line, and then just double click, and it automatically takes it. So in the process of your discussion with the vendor, he said, yeah, that's not enough, but I will take 105,000, for example. So what you can do is copy all the information across like you did yesterday from the mandate amount, paste it into there, and then say, all right, well, the vendor will take 105,000. That automatically adjusts the fees and the total cost to the buyer based on that agency fee percentage. So what this is doing is just giving you a history of what you've mandated it at, what the offers have come in at, and what the vendor will take. So you've got an idea of how to progress with a future offer. So, for example, Mr. Robert comes in and makes an offer. Double click again. Let's copy all this across again so we've got all the right formatting. But this time he makes an offer of the full price including fees, which is what most people do. So he has said, all right, it's on for 130,800. I will offer 120,000. Now, because this cell here was a formula in this one, and it was adding together the net vendor price and the agency fee, you've overwritten that formula. So what you need to do is you now need to work out the net vendor price based on this frais agence inclus price here. So you would go to your net vendor price, and the way you do it on the calculator is you would divide that amount by 1.09, because the agency fee is 1.09. So you go plus that divided by 1.09 equals that. So that gives you your net vendor. That gives you your agency fee updated, all based on that total cost that he's put the offer in at. What you can then do is, instead of saying divided by 1.09, which is basically 1 plus the agency commission, is you can edit that and you can go, all right, we'll divide it by, make it into a formula, 1 plus the agency fee. Now that sounds complicated, but it's exactly the same thing. All you've done is you've said take the total cost and divide it by 1 plus the agency fee, which is 1.09. Now what that means is, if this offer is refused and, God forbid, you want to negotiate on the agency fees, you can say, all right, well, if I bring the agency fees down to 8.5, the total amount stays the same that he's paying, but you've reduced the net vendor down to 110,599. So that might give you that little flexibility in negotiation for you to get the deal through the door. But we'll leave that at 9% for the time being. What you can then do, say for example this offer is on the verge of being accepted, is you can then put in here Notaire's fees. And then you would go to the Notaire's fees site, which I'll put in the thing below, the link below, just in case you didn't know where it was. You look at the net vendor for this offer, which is 110,092. You go, bien ancien, 110,092. Oh, that's right, that's department 87 for the sake of argument. Price 110,092. Let's say there's no furniture involved. Let's say there's no mortgage involved. Calculate. Scroll down, and that gives you a total agency fee of a notaire fee of 9,500. So you put 9,500 in here. Format it again. Right click, number format, currency, 0 places. So then your total, including all fees, is your total of your net vendor plus agency fee, which is this figure, plus your total notaire's fees. So it gives you a total purchase cost of 129,500. So it's just a way of keeping all the information on track, and so you can remember what's been said and you can adjust the fees if necessary, just to try and get the offer closer to what the vendor will take. Hope that makes sense.